also causes new dangerous situations.
17,000 cubic feet per second, and that'll wash a car away very quick.
We're keeping a close eye on a possible tropical system in the southeast.
But the probability of a tropical depression forming is fairly high.
We're watching wildfires burning in several western states.
We have had a focus on human life.
Learn about the history of the Grand Canyon Lodge that a wildfire just destroyed.
This isn't the first time fire has claimed this iconic North Rim landmark.
And the recent discovery of a long-lost shipwreck in the Great Lakes.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
And a very good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm WJLA Senior Meteorologist Brian Vandergraff. Well, heavy rains pounded the Northeast last night, flooding roads, homes, and even subways. Take a look. This is what it looked like inside the New York City subway system. This video was taken at the 28th Street station in Manhattan. It's similar to what happened during Superstorm Sandy. More than 2 inches of rain fell in a single hour, making it one of the wettest hours ever recorded in New York weather history. North of the city in Westchester County, this driver was among many who was rescued from a car stranded in high water.
Let's pull over. Oh, look at the wave.
Across the Hudson River, New Jersey's governor declared a state of emergency. Several rivers and streams overflowed after more than 6 inches of rain fell in just a few hours. In Pennsylvania, a state of emergency disaster was declared near Harrisburg after flash floods sent a torrent of muddy water through the streets. More than 7 inches of rain overwhelmed stormwater infrastructure, some homes filled with more than 5 feet of floodwater. As you can see, this basement didn't fare well, with a waterfall flowing through the window. And in Washington, D.C., that area saw strong winds and more than 3 inches of rain in just over an hour. It led to numerous road closures and a handful of water rescues. And thankfully, nothing like that is in the forecast for the Northeast today, but there is a threat of severe weather in the northern plains. Central Nebraska has a 3 out of 5 risk there, an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms, including large hail and damaging winds. A slightly lower threat stretches north to Michigan's UP. Now to the latest in Texas, where officials revised the number of people who have died or are missing in those devastating floods. The number of people killed now stands at 131. The number of missing is much lower this morning. It's now 97, down from 161. There is some concern that many of the missing are buried under feet of river sediment, like this car that was recovered. And the Washington Post reports that Camp Mystic's leader received a life-threatening flood alert, but waited about an hour to evacuate the camp. Meantime, the search for the missing is back on this morning after heavy rain delayed it on Monday. That rain once again turned rivers into roaring rapids. We have 2 reports from Texas, starting with Emma Ellen.
The image and sounds of a raging river, something the community hasn't seen in years.
This rise is something you haven't seen since probably about 2002.
The heavy rain causing the Frio River to rise rapidly, with the surge in water levels forcing multiple road closures, including here on County Road 348. Concan Fire Chief Cody Shockley says the threat is far from over.
The water moving so fast, we're probably moving at about 17,000 cubic feet per second, and that'll wash a car away very quick. So even just trying to get across it, it's very dangerous.
Troy Winkins telling us his kids are on the other side of that impassable road. A situation that's left him feeling helpless, even though he says they are safe.
Our kids are stranded on the other side. They're over there with some other friends of ours at another cabin. They went over there last night, and I told them to come home, and they didn't feel comfortable driving in the rain, so now they're stuck.
For someone who spent his whole life visiting the Frio River, Winkins says this is unlike anything he's ever seen before.
Probably 5 or 6 years that I've been up here, it's been record level low. I've never seen it this high.
Floodwater from the Frio River rose to high levels in the small community of Concan, levels this area has not seen in a long time. After a prolonged period of dryness, people we've spoke to say they prayed for water to come through this area.
Our aquifers, our water wells and everything up here are dry, and this is filling them back up. So this is what we pray for.
Even though Concan has a small population, this is a vacation thousands of people travel to stay at cabins like Neil's Lodges off of Texas Highway 127.
We're thinking maybe a 12-foot raise here at Neil's, which it's dissipated when it gets here. So it's really, really needed, really prayed for. And like I said before, I say that with grace because we are so devastated by what happened in Kerrville.
We've stopped to talk to 7-year-old Ryder, who tells us his family was among the people evacuated from cabins along the river.
The water was calm yesterday, and then the next day I walked out. It is literally so humongous.
Members of the Concan Volunteer Fire and EMS Department told me they weren't taking any chances, given what happened in Kerr County on July 4th.
We're not letting anybody cross anything. We'll take all the precautions that we can.
Now tracking the tropics this morning, we're monitoring a system that could develop off the Florida coast and move into the Gulf later today. Meteorologist Riley Blackwell is tracking that system.
The National Hurricane Center is still giving it a 40% chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days. And there's still some questions about where this thing will go. What will it end up doing? If it more so hugs the Gulf Coast, it will be a weaker system, but if it goes a little bit further down to the south, it could potentially be a little bit stronger system. But another issue is it's a very fast-moving system, so even if it takes the further southern route, it could have trouble in terms of trying to develop. But looking at the spaghetti models, most of them taking more so of a southern track before taking a very sharp right turn up to the north, likely impacting somewhere in Louisiana within probably the next 72 hours, if that. Very fast-moving system, likely not that much time to strengthen in anything stronger than maybe a very low-end tropical storm. And if one forms, it would become Dexter.
All right, wildfire season is in full swing across the West. Check out this map. It shows all the states where wildfires are currently burning, and you can see all but 6 states west of the Mississippi River have at least one fire right now. And those fires are creating smoke hazards that are visible from space. This morning, we are focusing on 3 of the most noteworthy fires. Christina Giardinelli starts us off in Oregon.
7 large fires are burning across Oregon right now. Robin DiMario, a spokesperson for the Northwest Interagency Coordination Center, says gusty winds in this region is making it difficult to fight the fires.
This is just mid-July, and it's hot and dry. We have that forecast of hot temperatures coming in and more winds, so people have to be especially careful.
In southwest Oregon, near the California border, you have the Grizzly Complex with multiple lightning-started fires. Jessica Newyear with the Oregon Department of Forestry says those fires have the state's resources spread pretty thin.
Over the last over 2 weeks, I would say, we have had a significant amount of lightning go up from southern Oregon into central and eastern Oregon. The winds this year have been a little merciless, I have to say.
Nearly 500 firefighters are battling the flames from both the ground and the air, with more than 179,000 gallons of retardant dropped yesterday. As a separate fire burns 35 miles south, evacuations have cleared out the north rim of the Grand Canyon and shut down operations for the remainder of the year.
We have had a focus on human life and firefighter and public safety.
While White Sage and Fredonia are not currently in the direct path of either fire, longtime locals say the impact will be felt far beyond the national park.
The people that have business that depend on tourists, it's going to affect them all. I mean, it's our whole summer is gone. It's going to take them a long time to build that back. So the summer's basically gone for that area.
And the Dragon Bravo fire burning at the Grand Canyon's North Rim has burned more than 5,000 acres and destroyed nearly 70 structures at the park, including employee housing, a wastewater treatment plant, and the historic Grand Canyon Lodge. A little later on the show, meteorologist Emily Gracie will tell us about the history of the lodge, including the last time it was destroyed by fire. Coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll share tips on how to make sure you and your family are prepared for severe weather threats. And we'll tell you about the recently discovered shipwreck from nearly 150 years ago found in the Wisconsin River.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. The heat and humidity in the Northeast will be the big weather story today and again for tomorrow. Highs will range from probably low 90s over the interior to 80s at the beaches. Any leftover showers and thunderstorms from last night, they have made their way out into the ocean. This is the afternoon today. Notice how the coastline is a little bit cooler or less hot than inland areas. More of the same should be expected on Wednesday with more heat and humidity in the Northeast. Thunderstorms re-enter the forecast Thursday.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll be tracking more showers and thunderstorm chances going forward. Your Tuesday looks to be a little bit fewer than what we had to deal with on Monday, thankfully, but still going to be a few of them out there, especially to the south. We'll see the better chances going on towards Virginia. Going into the mountains on Wednesday afternoon, and then that will spread a little bit further into the region. Wednesday looks to be a little bit more with the activity. Temperatures warm, but we will be hotter as we head into the next several days, upper 80s to low 90s.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. As we head through the middle of the week, an area of low pressure over the state of Florida is set to move into the Gulf. However, deep tropical moisture will continue to move across the state, producing heavy rainfall and even potential for localized flooding. Pop-up showers and thunderstorms for the rest of the southeast, and we're remaining hot and humid heading into Tuesday with temperatures in the 80s for the Carolinas and into Florida and into the mid and upper 90s for parts of the northern Gulf Coast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Security camera video shows this mama opossum leaving the den carrying her passel. As many as 10 offspring, or joeys, are hanging on. The opossum is related to the Australian possum, but the two are distinct animals. In North America, the names are used interchangeably. Another wildlife wonder, this young bald eagle practicing flapping its wings near Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, natural disasters are on the rise, and with the recent flooding in Texas, we wanted to remind you how to be prepared for the worst. Here's meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell.
So the bottom line, to prepare for a natural disaster where you are, it's best to remember the 4 P's that are helpful in preserving life and property. The first P, prepare. Be ready for what could happen where you live. Out west, it might be the wildfire danger, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, flash flooding, certainly a problem in the southeast or out toward the eastern seaboard, tornadoes in the midsection of the country, and the lightning threat is a big problem from coast to coast, certainly to the east of the Rockies this time of year. The second P would be the prediction. There were good predictions for the flash flooding over the holiday weekend in Texas. So knowing what is coming is a very important step in what follows. After that, and this is crucial, the third P is publicize. Spread the word. Make sure it is getting out. The traditional news mediums like newspapers, but radio and TV, and nowadays it's certainly the internet, social media, trying to get the word out, spread it among your neighbors that something might be coming and underway. That is so, so important. And once you know that, you need to take the steps to protect your life and property. Again, all of that preparation that you've done, knowing the evacuation routes, where to go, how to contact your loved ones. If there's a tornado coming, certainly what's your plan of action to be safe during that? Hurricanes, atmospheric rivers don't take quite as quick of planning and action, but definitely need to be prepared for all of that as well.
Have you ever noticed clouds that have a very flat bottom on them? Well, meteorologist Jennifer Collins explains why this happens.
So why is the base of a cloud flat? Well, it all has to do with cloud formation and the level at which air temperature reaches saturation. Radiation from the sun will heat the ground during the day. The warm ground will warm the air above it, creating a warm parcel of air that's less dense than the surrounding air, causing it to rise. As the air parcel rises, it cools and will eventually reach the dew point temperature, or the temperature at which the air becomes saturated with moisture. This point is called the lifting condensation level, or the LCL, and is where water vapor condenses into tiny water droplets, forming the base of a cloud. The parcel will continue to rise and expand, and the cloud will grow vertically. The height of the LCL will vary depending on the day's temperature, humidity, and pressure. So on a more humid day, the LCL will be lower in the atmosphere, creating a lower cloud base. And on a drier day, the LCL will be higher in the atmosphere, creating that higher cloud base.
Some clouds produce storms that cause downbursts, and downbursts can be pretty dangerous. To help you better understand them, let's take a look at an Instagram post from meteorologist Joy Bettenhausen.
Okay, to even get to the downburst part, which is the last part, you need a strong thunderstorm. And when we have a strong thunderstorm, we get a strong updraft located in that thunderstorm. Now that updraft is bringing in that warm, moist air, kind of fueling the storm. And essentially in the middle of that storm, you get heavy rain and hail building into this core. So when we have this strong storm setup, we get this hail and rain core that essentially just builds and builds and builds within the storm until this hail core becomes too heavy. And then eventually it rapidly falls to the ground. If there's some drier air underneath and we get evaporation to happen, the air can become heavier, falling even faster, and we can get wind speeds anywhere from 40 to 80 miles per hour in this scenario, if not higher.
When it rains, hydroplaning is a possibility. Meteorologist Teresa Carter explains how it happens and how to prevent it.
Hydroplaning occurs when a vehicle's tires lose contact with the road surface due to a layer of water accumulating between the tire and the pavement. This happens because the tire's tread cannot displace the water fast enough, causing the tire to essentially ride on top of the water. Several factors make hydroplaning more likely. Speed is the biggest culprit. The faster you drive, the less time your tires have to push water away. Just by reducing your speed 5 to 10 miles per hour significantly lowers the chances of losing traction. Worn out tires with shallow tread also increase the risk, as they can't clear water as effectively as newer tires. Road conditions play a role. Uneven surfaces or areas with poor drainage allow water to pool, making it easier for a vehicle to lose traction. Keeping tires properly inflated is equally as important, as underinflated or overinflated tires have less grip on wet roads. Understanding what causes hydroplaning and adopting safe driving habits are all essential steps towards staying safe on wet roads.
Well, in Wisconsin, hundreds of shipwrecks lay at the bottom of the Great Lakes, just off the coast. But a recently discovered shipwreck from nearly 150 years ago was found in April, and it's a reminder of the huge role shipping once played in the state. David Go is in Oshkosh with more on the discovery.
Several ships went undiscovered until the latest imaging technology was used.
Really good piece of equipment, and we were champing at the bit to use it. So we actually surveyed the entire river, about a 5-mile section.
Brendan Baylod leads the Wisconsin Underwater Archaeology Association. He helped discover the ship in question in April.
And it was very clear that we had found a shipwreck that was previously unknown.
His team surveyed 3 major shipwrecks that day. Here's footage of their findings. They discovered one, likely the LW Crane. Built in 1865 in Berlin, Wisconsin, the wooden sidewheel steamer was originally used to ferry passengers and freight between Green Bay and Oconto. After several sails in 1875, the LW Crane was used to clear the Wisconsin River. 2 more ships were surveyed. One may have been the Berlin City, the other called the Menasha. All 3 sank between 1860 and 1880, and all 3 are 100 or more feet long. Here's Kevin Cullen, executive director of the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, describing the cargo ships of the Fox River.
But it's used, like many of those of that era, is to move cargo, bulk commodities up and down the river to the port towns so that, the hardware stores and the mercantile stores can be can be well stocked.
So to find a tangible artifact from that era, right, that helps us, tell that story, that important story of how Wisconsin developed and how commerce went down the Fox River.
And they're connected to immigrant stories that would have made their way, into the inland waterways from the Great Lakes to then settle places like Oshkosh, Neenah, Menasha, Appleton, Green Bay, and so on.
Well, they recently discovered 3 in Oshkosh, but Kevin Cullen says there could be as many as 100 across Wisconsin at the bottom of the Fox River.
And time now for a short break, but first we soar over Discovery Park outside of Seattle, Washington.
Well, a very good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. How about this? 67 for the high in Bismarck today. The rest of the Midwest, 80s and 90s with these scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we head into the day tomorrow, those 60s drift a little farther south into South Dakota and also there into Minneapolis. Well, it's hot and muggy across the rest of the Midwest with these scattered showers and storms, and then 70s across the northern plains for Thursday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Waking up a little on the cool side, back for Amarillo, putting it in 67, it's 81 into Brownsville. Very warm, very humid. We're looking at remains of weather moving up toward the north into the Dallas-Abilene area. More scattered showers expected today. Those will be tropical rains. We'll be watching out for the flood watches as well. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and that's a look at your regional weather.
Hi, everybody. I'm Theron Zahn with a look at the forecast for the western United States. High pressure still very much in control. We're going to find very hot temperatures, even possibly record-breaking in the northwest. Extreme heat as far south as northern California, stretching all the way up to the Canadian border. Further east, some showers in parts of Montana and Idaho, or even thunder showers. Take a look at these numbers. 109 for Vegas, 107 in Phoenix, 96 in Bend. Going to hit 93 degrees in Portland, Oregon. That's the scene from out here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, as we mentioned, wildfire. It burned portions of the Grand Canyon Lodge, but it's not the first time the building has been destroyed. Meteorologist Emily Gracie has more on the historic hotel.
The Grand Canyon Lodge is gone again. This isn't the first time fire has claimed this iconic North Rim landmark. Back in 1932, the original Spanish-style lodge with its towering observation deck burned to the ground in minutes. The lodge manager, his wife, and mates barely escaped that September morning, watching helplessly as their home and workplace vanished. But they rebuilt by 1937, smaller, smarter, and with sloped roofs to handle heavy snow. Architect Gilbert Stanley Underwood designed something magical. You enter through the front, walk across the lobby, and suddenly, bam, your first view of the Grand Canyon through those massive windows. Now the Dragon Bravo fire has taken what survived for 88 years. But if history teaches us anything, it's that this lodge and that breathtaking surprise view will rise again. For the National Weather Desk, I'm meteorologist Emily Gracie.
We'd love to share your weather content on the air. You can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today on WJLA Senior Meteorologist Brian Vandegraff. Make it a great day, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow for another edition of the National Weather Desk.